The Battle of Zapote Bridge, fought on February 17, 1897, stands as a significant episode in the history of the Philippine Revolution against Spanish colonial rule. This conflict, set against the backdrop of the broader struggle for Philippine independence, showcased the resilience and determination of Filipino revolutionaries as they faced off against a well-equipped and better-trained Spanish force. The roots of the Battle of Zapote Bridge trace back to the escalating tensions between the Filipino populace and the Spanish colonial government. By the late 19th century, the Philippines had been under Spanish rule for over 3 centuries, and the Filipino people were growing increasingly restless under the heavy burden of colonial oppression. The struggle for independence had already sparked numerous uprisings, most notably the 1896 Philippine Revolution, which saw the formation of the Katipunan, a revolutionary society led by Andres Bonifacio. This organization aimed to achieve independence from Spain through armed rebellion. As the revolution gained momentum, the Spanish authorities responded with brutal crackdowns, hoping to quash the insurrection. It was in this context of rising tension and intermittent skirmishes that the Battle of Zapote Bridge took place. Zapote Bridge, located in the town of Bacoor, Cavite, was a strategically vital point. It spanned the Zapote River and served as a crucial access route to Manila, the colonial capital. Controlling this bridge meant controlling a vital artery for movement and logistics, making it a key objective for both the Spanish and Filipino forces. The Filipino Revolutionary Forces, under the command of General Emilio Aguinaldo, recognized the strategic importance of Zapote Bridge. Aguinaldo, a key figure in the revolution, was known for his tactical acumen and ability to inspire his troops. Understanding that the Spanish would attempt to secure the bridge to facilitate their operations and suppress the rebellion, Aguinaldo prepared his forces to defend it at all costs. The Spanish, under Governor-General Camilo de Polavija, were equally aware of the bridge's significance. Polavija, tasked with restoring order and maintaining Spanish dominance, ordered a contingent of well-armed and disciplined Spanish troops to seize Zapote Bridge. This force was led by General José Lachamber, a seasoned military officer with a reputation for effectiveness in combat. As dawn broke on February 17, 1897, the Spanish forces advanced towards Zapote Bridge. The Filipino revolutionaries, although outnumbered and outgunned, were entrenched and ready. They had fortified their positions on both sides of the river, using the natural terrain to their advantage. The Zapote River, with its dense foliage and winding course, provided a challenging battlefield that favored the defenders. The battle commenced with a barrage of gunfire from both sides. The Spanish troops, armed with modern rifles and artillery, attempted to dislodge the Filipinos from their fortified positions. However, the revolutionaries, driven by a fierce desire for independence and a deep-seated resentment of colonial rule, fought tenaciously. The dense underbrush and uneven terrain made it difficult for the Spanish to mount a coordinated assault, and the Filipino defenders used guerrilla tactics to harass and disrupt the Spanish advance. General Aguinaldo's leadership was instrumental in maintaining the morale and cohesion of the Filipino forces. He moved among his troops, offering words of encouragement and coordinating their defensive efforts. The revolutionaries' intimate knowledge of the local terrain allowed them to execute ambushes and flanking maneuvers that slowed the Spanish advance and inflicted significant casualties. Despite their numerical and technological superiority, the Spanish forces found themselves bogged down in a protracted and grueling engagement. The battle raged throughout the day, with neither side able to secure a decisive advantage. The Spanish artillery pounded the Filipino positions, but the revolutionaries held firm, utilizing the natural cover provided by the riverbanks and surrounding vegetation. As the battle wore on, both sides suffered heavy casualties. The humid tropical climate, coupled with the intensity of the fighting, took a toll on the soldiers. Wounded and exhausted, the combatants fought on, driven by their respective causes. For the Filipinos, this was a fight for freedom and self-determination. For the Spanish, it was an effort to maintain their colonial empire and suppress a growing insurrection. The turning point of the battle came in the late afternoon. General Lachamber, recognizing the difficulty of dislodging the entrenched Filipinos through direct assault, ordered a flanking maneuver. A detachment of Spanish troops crossed the river at a point upstream, hoping to outflank the Filipino positions and attack from the rear. This maneuver, although risky, aimed to break the stalemate and force the revolutionaries to retreat. The Filipinos, however, were not caught unprepared. Aguinaldo had anticipated such a move and had positioned a reserve force to counter any flanking attempts. As the Spanish detachment crossed the river and advanced towards the rear of the Filipino positions, they were met with fierce resistance. A brutal close-quarters battle ensued, with both sides fighting desperately for control. In the end, the Filipino defenders managed to repel the Spanish flanking maneuver, inflicting heavy casualties and forcing the attackers to withdraw. The failure of this tactic marked a significant setback for the Spanish forces. As night fell, the battle gradually subsided, with both sides too exhausted to continue the fight. The Battle of Zapote Bridge, though not a decisive victory for either side, demonstrated the resilience and determination of the Filipino revolutionaries. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, they had successfully defended a strategic position and inflicted significant losses on the Spanish forces. The battle also highlighted the tactical acumen of leaders like Emilio Aguinaldo, whose ability to inspire and coordinate his troops played a crucial role in the outcome. In the aftermath of the battle, both sides re-evaluated their strategies. For the Filipinos, the defense of Zapote Bridge was a morale booster, reinforcing their belief in the possibility of achieving independence. For the Spanish, it was a stark reminder of the challenges they faced in suppressing the revolution. The conflict continued to escalate, with further battles and skirmishes as the revolutionaries continue their fight for freedom. The legacy of the Battle of Zapote Bridge endures in Philippine history as a symbol of resistance and resilience. It serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made by those who fought for independence and the complex dynamics of colonial warfare. Today, the battle is commemorated as a significant event in the struggle for Philippine independence, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Filipino people in their quest for self-determination.